Manchester United 3, Arsenal 2, and I tell you what, let's call it as it is. Arsenal were nowhere near the races to compete on this game in particular. Manchester United did a fantastic job. First of all, to nullify Arsenal completely in terms of their routine, how they go about their playing business in the match. And the goals. What a sensational strike from Dorgu and Cunha. Both of them outstanding. I have Aaron here with me as usual. Dave and Aaron Talks Football. Make sure you like, comment down below, subscribe to the channel. But Aaron, let's talk about it, man. Let's talk about it because I'm still in shock. Those two goals from Dorgu and Cunha. One equally as good as the other. I can see you smiling. Obviously, tell me about the game. Tell me your thoughts and feeling on that.
First and foremost, what I went through to come back home to watch that game, and the lads have done me proud today because I come all the way from Surrey, where I work, all the way back down to London on the train, cycling back from London Bridge on a line bike with the game on the bike, and then riding back. Got home, and come into the game where Arsenal kind of in the ascendancy got that first goal.
Yeah.
And then, Mbeumo and Bruno pressing.
Yeah.
We get the goal back. Arsenal making mistakes in the midfield. We get to half time. I'm thinking to myself, I think we can do something here, Obviously, we talk about the 3-1 prediction, and I'm thinking, I was like, you know what? I'm going to save it till full time to text David, but I think we're on here.
Yeah.
Obviously, 3-2. But the set piece thing from Arsenal, obviously, do you know what I mean? It works. We talked about it in the match.
It destabilizes completely. It makes crazy moments in the box, 100%.
It's so erratic, but the game couldn't be drawn on that level based upon Man United's performance. I think Arsenal, I think we were talking off camera and you said that Arsenal, you knew why Arteta did the quadruple substitution, and it was exactly for that, to cause terror in the box. Play for the corners, play for the set pieces, and see what they can get. I personally think on an Arsenal level, that game plan came too early. They could still could have played some football, but United was so compact. We were so disciplined in the second half. Martinez, big up. Harry Maguire, big up. Luke Shaw. I heard someone on a stream say Ballon Dorgu, and I'm here for it as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that was an absolutely wonder strike from him.
Yeah.
Obviously, absolutely pissed when they got the goal from the set piece again, and that I think it's myself. We can't do that, and then Cunha just comes up with that. That only players like Mavericks like Cunha can do stuff like that.
That's
and
it.
I tell you, worth every penny of the money we bought for him. And if Mikel Carrick playing this Carrick ball can continue to make Man United
make waves.
I'm still trying to calm
still
down,
shocked.
Dave, honestly.
Yeah, I can definitely tell.
It's not even shocked. I just feel like it was so deserved on the day. It's two heavyweight managers we've gone up against. Mikel Carrick has gone up against, and got the players so organised into a way of playing that we even frustrated Arsenal in the game preview we were doing. We thought the battle would be in the midfield. I thought the battle in the midfield was kind of non-existent, really. Today in terms of the game. Sorry, Dave, am I over talking? I'm a bit over.
No, you're fine, mate. You're fine. Yeah, you're fine. I can definitely hear it.
Patrick Dorgu, man of the match for me. I thought there was some great individual performances in the game, but for me, say something, Dave. Honestly, I'm so
Don't worry, I will. I think
in Arsenal. Beautiful,
yeah, back to back. That's a sensational game from Manchester United. What was really surprising was, like you said, how compact Man United were. What was really surprising was they didn't get heated or flustered by how Arsenal were pressing.
Yeah,
mainly Casemiro, decent, obviously, in the midfielder, containing, obviously, Arsenal's momentum. Arsenal's going to always try and build up the ball. They're always trying to maintain possession. We saw it obviously in the very first goal, which was it was very unfortunate because Lisandro Martinez had Timber in his position that he wanted him. But obviously the ball just
Yeah,
ricocheted all
it's one of them
about.
ones. It's one of them ones.
It's one of
Yeah,
those
yeah, yeah.
horrible goals that go
Very
against.
disappointing though. And at that time, I thought, bloody
Yeah,
hell, Arsenal with the ascendancy with that goal. Do you know what I mean? Oh man, just don't let them get another one.
exactly. And honestly, the press, like you said, from Mbumo and Bruno Fernandes,
Mm,
and I saw Mbumo just literally look at Raya and he's
mm,
saying, "What am I going to do here?" And he decides to round him and
yes.
hit it straight past into the goal, which is a lot of strikers wouldn't do that. They would just
No.
go for glory, but
Hmm.
he took his time with it. And then the movement for the goal from Manchester United, and as soon as the second half, I was blown away with the movement. How the
Yeah.
press was initiated firsthand,
Hmm.
Bruno Fernandes, Mainu, and then obviously Dorgu with just literally, and people were trying to say handball. That was nowhere near a handball. Let's just be honest, yeah? It hits
Mm.
just literally onto his thigh and it goes down and he lasers that into the goal past a keeper who's probably the best keeper currently presently in the Premier League
I reckon
and
the sorry.
absolutely smashed it. Sorry.
I reckon the jury might be out on. I think a few people might moan at that and say that could potentially be like
Yeah.
something. But let me tell you, like exactly what you said. Do you know what I mean, I don't think there's anything there blatantly a goal, and I'm glad that it actually stood because I think
Yeah.
if it would have been chalked off in any way, I think that would have been
Yeah.
scandalous. Even just for the goal, it would have been scandalous.
Yeah, absolutely. And it was such an impressive goal.
Mm.
Only to be, and it's actually quite lucky I'm wearing a Brazilian shirt at the moment because Cunha, my lord,
Mm.
the strike on it was absolutely unreal. This is otherworldly strikes that
It's
you
one of them
see.
ones you score on Pro or FIFA. Like
Exactly,
it
yeah.
genuinely is. Do you mean
Absolutely.
uh,
And I was watching, just to give it context, people, I was watching Barcelona versus Oviedo today, and
mm,
Yamal scored a bicycle kick that was crazy.
mhm,
Those two goals that I saw today definitely outdid Yamal's goal.
mm,
It was mind blowing. And Arsenal, they were trying to feed themselves back into the game after obviously Dorgu's goal,
mhm.
and they were just doing the same things. It was a huge repetition behind it, trying to go out to the wings, trying to feed it off to Saka. Obviously, Madueke has come into the
Yeah.
equation. Madueke's trying to make direct runs, obviously past Man United's defense,
Mhm.
and there was nothing there that I looked at Arsenal and said, "You're getting past the Man United defense in the first place." And I think Carrick set it really well to
Sure.
destabilize that.
Mm,
And considering that Manchester United are playing at the Emirates,
yeah.
is
Yeah.
a different ball game altogether. You see Arsenal fans in hands in their mouth. Ian Wright,
It's so
hands
intense.
in his
Yeah.
mouth as well,
Yeah. Yeah.
panning off
Yeah.
to Ian Wright in the camera. And
Yeah. That was a lovely moment for me. Actually.
yeah, exactly. And it looks like Man United were going to just basically win and Dorgu's goal until obviously that set piece where,
Mm,
like we mentioned, the quadruple substitution, which is very rare for Man United for managers to do. And Arteta did it because he was just saying to himself, look, we've just got to throw caution to the wind. We're going to get it. And Marino, of all people,
mhm.
he gets that goal, and it's just a very scruffy corner, whatever it is. But on the balance of things, and a lot of Arsenal fans would agree with this, and you have to take your hat off to Man United. And sometimes you've got to be honest with yourself. Today was not Arsenal's day at all. Man
Mm,
United deserved to win that match. And I tell you why. It's because when you're looking at the attacking plays themselves and being more incisive, being more just, how can I say it? Just more direct with their play. When they get the opportunities, Man United were. And
yeah.
Cunha and Dorgu, just to have those opportunities in those times and just to take your chance is well deserved of the win.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm
Yeah.
sure you agree with it. So I would like you just to elaborate literally on Man United's performance as a team today because they did exceptionally well. They just covered each other all over the pitch. What did you think
Definitely.
about the team effort from the whole team itself, especially how Carrick set them up?
Well, firstly, I've got to kind of take a little bit of something from what the commentator said as well.
Mm,
He said if Ruben Amorim is here watching the 11, the team play today, and he must be scratching his head wondering why he couldn't get a tune out of the players. Obviously, it's a new manager coming in, and Michael Carrick's obviously laid down a foundation of which the instructions must be much clearer, and it must be the way that the players know we can play to their strengths. Playing Harry Maguire and Martinez hasn't worked for us before, but now it is.
Yeah.
Casemiro, Kobe Mainu, who wasn't
Double
being
pivot.
played before, is now, the two of them are pivotal. I'm so unhappy Casemiro is saying he's going with what I'm seeing. You know,
true, yeah.
I in the preview I talked about Dalot, but I think he performed okay today. But I feel like one of the key things is that Amad Diallo and Patrick Dorgu can really support the wing backs.
Exactly.
So in terms,
they both have defensive mindsets as well, so they can really press as well in the defensive area.
So I feel like Luke Shaw feels a lot more confident. I feel like Dalot feels a lot more confident. We were basically, a lot of the time when we wanted to basically slow Arsenal down, we would bring it to the sort of halfway line, right into the corner of the halfway line, and then basically spread the ball 1, 2, 3, 4 passes just to break the press. And then obviously we'll sort of launch it long to Dorgu. I think it was just, again, like doing something that I always accuse Arsenal of doing, is stifling your opponent. I feel like United stifled Arsenal, and I feel like they run out of ideas, which is why I feel like on a few occasions they could have got through Gyökeres at the end, but he pulled him down. I feel just like, I don't know. I just feel we were a little bit of the antidote towards what Arsenal would normally do today, and Carrick actually got that spot on. Apart from the set pieces that you can't stop, I thought the synergy with Man United, the willingness to follow instructions, the willingness to, Martinez made a great tackle in the box. A key element to us as well is Sene Lemons as well.
Yeah, exactly. Brilliant header. It was a header from Zubimendi, I think it was in the first half, and he palmed it away. And shot from Saka down to his bottom left-hand side. Another palm away, good save. And just very safe hands in general. Of course, the corner's going to get mixed up. Arsenal are going to get in your face, especially with Gabriel Saliba in there and getting into the mixer. However, he was a pair of safe hands today. He was decent.
But he always looked up for it. He always looked like he wasn't kind of intimidated by the Arsenal sort of like, bully boy in the box sort of mentality. Whereas I feel like if we had someone like Onana, or from previous experience, do you know what I mean? Like once you kind of get low in confidence, I think we've got a great goalkeeper there, and I think he breeds an air of authority within that. And I feel like if the defense carries on like it's carrying on, do you know what I mean? It's only a good thing. But we did the simple things well. I feel like everyone knew their job. As Roy Keane always says, you've got to do your job, and I think they did their jobs properly today.
Amazingly well, yeah. And I've got to obviously take my hat off to a certain few players. It looks like, for me, like Shaw, the whole defence was just working its socks off, trying to cover each angle. And Carrick, towards the end of the game, decided to go to a back 5 or a back 3 with obviously the 2 wing backs. And it worked exceptionally well. Arsenal were just trying to feed it from side to side.
Yeah,
not really much direction in which way they were going, and I definitely feel that Arteta just ran out of ideas. He ran out of ideas when he made the quadruple substitution, and a lot of the content creators online, they're going to be really frustrated with it because they want Arsenal to win the title so much, but these are the kind of matches that you need to win to show that you're capable of winning the title as well. So a lot of Arsenal fans, they're going to be gutted at the fact that they performed atrociously for pretty much a lot of the match. They were just maintaining possession for good spells in the game. However, they weren't direct enough. They weren't showing themselves what they should do, like they did against Bayern Munich or against Inter. Similar, like that, I was expecting Arsenal more to play like that and trying to cut through directly Man United's defence. But like we said earlier, Man United was so compact, they didn't have the space to do it.
Yeah. And I think that's something we took from the City game. I wanted it to work, like in theory, I wanted it to work against Arsenal, but I thought it might have been a bit different. As you said, Arsenal can cut through. They can, Saka was a little bit nullified today. If I'm being honest, with the double up with Dorgu and covering Shaw, and Shaw can maybe doesn't have to just sort of commit too much, and on the other side as well, Trossard. I mean, everything just seems to be to be more balanced. It wasn't hectic. It wasn't unpredictable. It was just, stick to the plan. I move, you move. At one stage you saw Harry Maguire have a little venture down to the pit, down the other side of the pitch. Do you know what I mean? So Martinez as well. I've got to say, him coming up to the halfway line and sort of trying to drill passes in as well. I generally think, this actually proven in 2 very difficult games. If it carries on, I feel like there's something there, for Carrick to just go head to head with 2 of the best managers in the league and actually drop those 2 performances. A lot of people will say, okay, let me see you do it against the Sunderlands,
team. Yeah, exactly.
This and that. I can't even disrespect Sunderland because they've having a good season, but you know what I mean. But yeah, if I'm obviously I am a Man United fan. We promised to obviously be neutral, but obviously I can't be because
it's Arsenal, it's a long-term rival. This is a rivalry.
Apologies, not really. No.
Yeah, I've seen it, mate. I hear it. And I just want to round it off the last 5 minutes by talking to you about certain players that stood out for you. Mm-hmm. So what were your main standout candidates for man of the match for Manchester United, do you think, when you were looking at the match today? I think Dorgu definitely is in there because he was just chasing.
Dorgu was there. I liked Martinez today because I thought it was another good performance from him. Bruno, I can't really put him in that bracket of performance today, but I did enjoy it.
He missed an absolute he missed a sitter. He tried to base it. He missed a sitter earlier. He tried to blame it on I think it was Saliba covering that he got a touch. He didn't get a touch.
Yeah,
he scuffed it big time. But carry on. Sorry, mate.
No, I thought the off the ball work as well from the lads as well today. Do you know what I mean? Like even in terms of Bruno and do you know what I mean chasing down lost causes, like getting in. But yeah, I think Dorgu, really, shone today. Really, again, it is a shame to see him come up. I hope he's all right, and it's not too long what he went off with. But yeah, I'll have to put Cunha for the goal. No, Patrick Dorgu for me. Yeah,
Patrick Dorgu. Yeah, I would agree with that. Obviously, the defense as well, good. And out of 10, Mikel Carrick, what would you rate him in terms of his game management of the whole game itself? I think it was brilliant, I've got to say, mate. I would definitely give him a 10 out of 10 performance.
10 out of 10 today. 10 out of 10 today, yeah. And obviously going up against a really intense Mikel Arteta as well, sort of thing, and just kept his composure. Obviously, like, Arteta's quite animated on the other side of the technical area. Carrick's just with the arms folded, getting some advice from Woodgate and on Holland. I like it. I like the calm. There's a bit of calm at Man United, and it's
absolutely.
It's when you've been starving of good football, man, like for so long, and then you just see someone that has been in your ranks that come in and just like kind of just transform it. It's not something to sleep on, really. I feel like from what we were doing with Ruben Amorim to these last 2 games, I don't know. Have these players been hiding, or was there just a complete dislike of what Ruben Amorim was trying to achieve with them? It seems like, from what Mikel Carrick's proven, it is the latter.
Absolutely, and I definitely can agree with that. So, obviously, it's up to Man United now to really prove it against teams that they may not, how would I say it, show up against just by natural default. For example, your Man Cities, your Arsenals. These are matches that you probably would expect Man United to turn up in regardless of the team. So now it's just a case of can they carry the consistency and can they reach top 4 by the end of the season? And this match here firmly puts them in place. Obviously, we need to see this because if Man United were to reach the Champions League based upon, obviously, Mikel Carrick guiding to that, I could definitely see him staying on for much longer than expected.
Yeah. What I wanted to ask you, David, from obviously a neutral point of view, obviously you said Arsenal's attacking was quite atrocious today, but
it was, yeah.
What would you say was the reason for them spilling the ball so much in those defensive areas today? And so was it the fact that United did we give them a tactical surprise? What was your analysis just based upon? I don't usually see Saliba and Zubimendi and these people like so nervous or like making these mistakes.
Yeah, I think Zubimendi, in terms of how he got pressed for the goal that Mbeumo scored, I think those kind of moments with that kind of player and the defense, I think they got slightly flustered because of Man United's intensity. As soon as Arsenal scored that goal, Man United's intensity, I think it was from the very first 35th minute onwards, it just shot up.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
Man United just went, okay, cool, we're just going to take the game by the scruff of the neck and try and get into this game. And that's what they did. Their intensity shot up. They started moving the ball quicker. The tempo was much faster. And I think, in terms of the general outlook of the match, Arsenal haven't really played a team this season that have had this crazy high level of intensity like Man United did in certain moments of the game. And I'm not talking about how they're building up the ball. I'm talking about just their directness towards goal. And we saw in several games, like against Aston Villa, where Aston Villa in the very first half against Arsenal, they were just running through the centre of their midfield. And I know the game ended up obviously in Arsenal's favour, but those kind of lapses in concentration can really do Arsenal in.
Yeah,
And it did them in today because they allowed Cunha to run straight into his path without no one chasing him or no one in front of him, not even attempting to block the shot. And I'm not expecting Raya to say that because it was an absolute wonder strike.
Well, welded,
Same as Dorgu. So they were trying to press Dorgu, but Dorgu was like, okay, sod this. So they didn't have that. It was the surprise factor also that Man United was so compact in the back. They defensively were amazing. They had great two midfielders in the double pivot in Mainu and Casemiro, who just calm control when they have the ball. They're like, okay, we'll slow it down. Arsenal trying to do their usual press didn't work today because of those two. Because your likelihood is that you're going to press them, but you're going to lose out in terms of triangles and trying to work it through the middle of the pitch. And that's what Man United did. They didn't have the most fluid play, but when they were direct, they were direct. And Arsenal did not see it coming at all.
Yeah,
So
I just thought Arsenal like just like kind of defensive mistakes that you don't usually see, and I thought it was like obviously capitalized upon very well by Man United. But just wanted your opinion on that anyway. Dave.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's the first time, I think the commentator says, the first time they've conceded 3 goals since they played Luton Town. That's a very, very long time ago. So Arteta definitely has something to think about there. Obviously, Arsenal, I'm not going to say anything about it, but they are still in firm control. They're 4 points ahead in the Premier League race. And now it is all down to that Man City game for Arsenal. That's the game at the Etihad that's going to make or break their season. They need to win that. And if they do win it, then I'm sure that Arsenal will go on to win the Premier League. So is this a blip in their whole momentum? Yes. Do I think Arsenal will then go and win their next few matches? Potentially, yes, also. But also, Arsenal, we know that this in previous seasons have been certain times and certain moments where their standard drops. As soon as one result hit them big time, their standard drops. And we've seen it before. I'm not entirely sure if it happened again, but do you know what? I think Arsenal will need a lot to work on after this match. They do. So I'm not sure what you're thinking about Arsenal's Premier League chances after this. I think they're still in firm control of it.
Still in firm control, Dave. But obviously, do you know what I mean? Like, obviously the rivals will be like, do you know what I mean? That's a good result for everyone following the following pack. But in terms of, I don't feel like this game. It's obviously consequential because of that factor, but I don't feel like Arsenal's stride should be knocked off by it. I feel like a resurgent Man United team have come to the Emirates and done a job. But I'm just being hypothetical, but I shouldn't see it. I think Arsenal need a big bounce back from that.
Absolutely, and I think they will. But look, they've got the next game is away at Ellen Road. That's going to be a tough game. We always know Leeds are always out for the game. They have their EFL Cup semi-finals against Chelsea. They're firm in control of that. They got Sunderland, Brentford away, another London derby, then a North London derby, and then Chelsea again, and then comes Man City at the Etihad.
There's no easy games there, is there?
No easy games, and it's absolutely Newcastle towards the end of the season as well, which always has a problem for Arsenal. Look, this is going to be a make or break season for Arsenal. If Arsenal do not win this Premier League season, You know what? I don't think under Arteta they could. I've got to be honest. If this season is not the year, then I don't think they could. But thank you guys, obviously, for tuning in. Much appreciated. Thank you, obviously, so much for the support. Big up, obviously, to all the viewers, subscribers. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to like this video. Comment down below, letting us know your thoughts on this huge match between Arsenal and Man United. What a win for Man United. And, of course, we're going to see you next time. Any final thoughts, Aaron, you want to say?
United, United are the team for me.
Guys, we're going to end on that bombshell, guys. Take care. Adios. And we'll see you next time on another video. Take care, guys. And United win 3-2. Take care, people. Adios.